is, yeah.
It's like that old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And I think here at FCC, you can certainly experience it.
We weren't planning on coming to Johannesburg to follow them. And then he lost his contract and he was down in Durban, and so we moved to Durban. We thought, okay, it's going to happen. And that contract just fell through. And there were no jobs at the time in Durban or anywhere else because the country was going through a recession, and we knew the only place to go to was Johannesburg. And I found a job here, and he came up to scout the land, but yeah, it was definitely...
It was definitely of God, though,
Yes,
because the
it
doors
was.
just literally opened as Janine did, and it was about like a month maybe that I walked into another job. Yeah.
I did the job interview down in Durban,
Yeah.
and got it, and they said they don't normally employ people that way, but yeah.
No, there was no question in our mind that this was of what we felt 100%. This was a God move. Outside of the disruption of moving, we just knew in our hearts this is what God has called us to come and assist. We'd assisted them when they were down in Pangeni, and we just felt this is of God, and we went. And everything just panned out as God had wanted it to.
When we left Impangeni, we went to Durban, and then we joined Hillside Church there, and we joined their home site. It was just wasn't home, it just wasn't comfortable. And then when we came up to Johannesburg, there was no doubt that we would be going with Tony and Susanna, and the minute we stepped into the first service, it was like we're home. I felt we're home.
Yeah.
Because I felt like we'd been at this other church, and we stood around there and felt awkward, and so it did feel like home when we got here. He's a faithful God, and you try your best to raise your children up. Get emotional. You try to raise your children up the best you can so that they will find God for themselves, and at times maybe they trip up and they have their struggles, but I can honestly say that God is a faithful God, that if it wasn't for us plodding and coming to church and being part of the church as much as we were and as much as we allowed God to be in our life, I don't think we would see the fruit with our children now, and that's our one heart has always been that our children will find God for themselves as we train them up, and that they will have a relationship with God into the future, even when we're not here, that God will be their God, God will be their Father. And that's all I can say is God is faithful.
And He's patient.
Yeah.
He's very patient. I mean, we've been here 30 years, and over the years, you just, sometimes you don't learn the lesson on the first time, it's not something life-changing, but there's something God's like just tweaking here, and He's tweaking there, and you don't learn it the first time, but God is patient, and he just keeps repeating that lesson, and eventually, yes, okay, I see it. Yeah.